106.9 FM, KGGR. KGGR invites you to tune in at 1 p.m. on Fridays for our weekly interview with Rob Stern of Mortgage Solutions Financial. Rob has a wealth of information on the American dream of home ownership, credit repair, and refinancing. Be prepared to call in with questions at 972-988-1040. That's 972-988-1040. Rob Stern, Fridays at 1 p.m. on 1040 AM KGGR.
Well, hey there. How you doing?
Hello, it's 1040 AM KGGR 106.9 FM. Of course, the moment that we look forward to every single Friday is being able to talk to, I like to say, our Rob Stern. And we are so glad that you guys have decided to tune in. So whether you be on social media, live, or if you're on the airways, we are so glad you decided to join us. Now, Rob, this is the last time we will talk to you before the new year. So first, I want to say Happy New Year's to you.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. Thank you very much. Thank you. And same to you.
Thank you. And as we go about working on our New Year's resolutions, a lot of people I feel are going to be saying things like, I want to purchase a house this year. And so we are going to start with giving you a call, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And I think this is actually a great segue. And you're absolutely right. This is the time of year when people resolve to do more for the following year, perhaps do better for the following year. Mm-hmm. This is the time of year when people make that decision, make that commitment to follow through. If they want to become a homeowner, this is a perfect chance in the marketplace right now. There are more homes becoming available on a daily basis as the market starts to settle down. Interest rates are cooperating. We haven't seen an increase here. We had a half point rise in rates about 10 days or so ago, and things have been somewhat steady since then. There's so much value out there in the market, and again, we need to go back to the fact that we are seeing apartment leases go up much quicker than we are interest rates.
Yeah,
and I think people stop to or don't stop to actually consider what's happening with these rental rates. Every time your lease expires, it's going to cost you a couple of $200 or $300 more a month, perhaps even more. But on top of that, you've got additional expenses like the cost of a mover, and other costs that are not hidden costs but unseen costs, and those begin to add up very quickly. When you could move one time into your own home and be done with it. January is looking to be a very aggressive month for the industry. We're seeing a lot of activity right now, people stacking up for January and February closings. This is the right time to make that commitment, as you indicated. We're all looking for tax refund checks. This is a great time to put that tax refund money to the side.
Yeah.
Put that money to the side when it comes in and use it to buy a home. We can take that money, couple it together with a down payment assistance program, perhaps, and really minimize your out-of-pocket exposure. But the point is, you got to start somewhere, as you said. The place to start would be by giving me a call, 972-739-2350. That's 972-739-2350. You can find me on the internet. Just go to Lenders Texas. That is LendersTexas.com.
Okay. And so I know you talked about homes coming available, you talked about interest rates. Is it season specific? So are we expecting to see a lot happening because it is the new year?
Yes. And that's a very very great observation. Yes. So the new year always brings about change. The new year always brings about hope of prosperity and hope of personal growth. The market typically begins to heat up aggressively in springtime, which is March, April, that time frame, somewhat coincided with the kids and school. This is the right time to be out looking for a home if you want to become a homeowner, because we haven't really seen that aggressive that aggressive movement start yet. Within the next 3 or 4 months, we will see that happen, and we will see volume pick up even more. So yes, it is cyclical, as you indicated, and this is the right time. This is the right time to begin the process of moving towards home ownership.
Wow. So if you never bought a home before, or if you bought 1 home, 2 homes, 3 homes, doesn't matter how many, give you a call, right?
Yeah. No, this is absolutely the time to call and get started. And you know, a lot of what I do on a daily basis is actually just counseling, helping people understand what to do with their credit, how to become buyer ready, how to become a homeowner. And that's okay. That's my responsibility, my place in the community. I have no difficulty in helping people understand their financial position. This is where generational wealth starts. This is where accumulating wealth begins, with home ownership. Once you own that home, all things are possible, but you got to start somewhere. And the place to start is by giving me a call.
Rob, I'll tell you what I think the mindset is of so many people that I talk to is buying a home seems like such a big thing. Have you ever heard of something that seemed to be so big that you didn't think it was something you could achieve? How could we make this a simple process? Like, what is the most simple thing that will help people to understand and have the mindset that this is something that you could actually do?
Yeah, and you're right. I think a lot of people, our listeners included, our viewers included, a lot of people have heard no too many times, and I think that's where the problem really starts. Because whether you know from childhood, from adolescence, right, we are taught that the word no means no.
Yeah.
Okay, we live with that our whole life. When we start. When we become adults and we are looking for a home, we are looking to put our family into a better position, and we hear the word no, that's incredibly off-putting. That's very discouraging, and I don't blame anybody who gives it a second thought because they've been turned down before. But what I want people to understand is that no does not mean no. No may mean not right now.
Not right now.
And I think that's a very important distinction for people to understand. Mortgage Solutions, the Lenders Residential Mortgage Team, we are direct lenders. As such, we create and build our own underwriting guidelines, our own platforms. That gives us a lot more access because of our relationship directly with the Veterans Administration, our relationship directly with FHA. I can do a 500 credit score on an FHA mortgage loan. Nobody else will take that level of risk. I will because of my position and my relationships with the FHA. I'll close a VA loan with no minimum credit score because of my relationships with the Veterans Administration. Nobody else in the marketplace that I know of will do that. So again, the point is, no doesn't mean no. No means not right now. And I work with people so much, perhaps over a 3-month or a 6-month or even a 12-month period to get them positioned for home ownership. You have to start somewhere. You should never accept the answer of no. There's always a way to make things happen, but you got to start somewhere. We have to, you got to crawl before you walk. Right? You got to walk before you run. The main thing is we have to develop a sense of trust. We have to develop a relationship with one another. I'm listed with the Better Business Bureau, A++ rating. I have been for 20 some odd years that I've been with the Better Business Bureau. You have to decide who you trust in your mortgage relationship, and I think that is also very critical. There's an assumption that people make when they deal with a professional, whether it's a professional journalist or a professional loan officer or a professional realtor or whatever, even an automobile salesman. They make that assumption that we know what we're doing.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not always the case.
Absolutely.
And that's the point that people should understand. I've got 32 years in this industry. I know what I'm doing. I've done this a long time, but not everybody has that skill set. Not everybody has that level of knowledge. Not everybody has the understanding of community that I have. When you decide to work with somebody, it needs to be the right person, and that's the whole reason why we've done this show for all these years, starting with KHVN Community Forum and moving to KGGR. That's why we do this, and we continue to do this. Our goal, your goal, my goal, is to educate and inform the community and turn everybody into a homeowner where we can.
And I love the fact that your, excuse me, your office, your company takes the time to educate us in so many different things. It's not that you give us a no and then that's it. I like the fact that you have other ways to help us get there. So even the not right now, you can help us get to the yes. Specifically, speak to the FHA loan that we hear all the time. And you said that you can start with a 500 credit score. But what are some other qualifications? Because I'm thinking now, if I have a 500 credit score, I'm going to go ahead and come to you now and go ahead and get approved. So what are some other qualifications?
Sure. And that actually sort of dovetails into tax time and everything else that's going on. So the HUD and FHA has given us very, very specific instructions. Anything below a 580 credit score requires a 10% equity position in the property. Meaning, if you're spending $100,000, 10% is $10,000. So really, the big issue with anything under a 580 score is the amount of money that you have to work with. And a lot of the people that we talk to have large 401ks or IRAs or pension plans, and they've got money saved up. As a matter of fact, right now, most of us are losing money in these retirement plans. Mm-hmm. This is the right time to take that money out and go buy a house. Don't let your credit necessarily discourage you or dissuade you from trying to become a homeowner. So yes, anything under a 580 credit score requires a 10% down payment on an FHA loan. Anything over a 580 score is a 3.5% down payment.
Okay, so what else? Because I'm sitting here thinking, check.
Right. And well, that's really the biggest thing that we have to deal with now. When we look at an individual's credit, again, we're going to look at how they've behaved and performed in the last 12 months with their credit. Charge-offs, collections, late pays, those are always an item of concern. And that goes for the VA loan as well. So the last 12 months, the last 24 months, credit history plays an important part in the underwriting decision. But really, that's where we are. If you have a score that is below a 580 credit score, the smart thing to do is to let us pull credit. Let's go ahead and build a file. Let's make sure that the income piece as well as the credit piece works. And then instead of saying no, we will say not yet, if need be. Yeah. But you got to start somewhere. That's the whole point here. Too many people, don't be afraid to start the process because it's a very fluid process. Just because you begin the process working towards homeownership does not mean that you're making a commitment and you're going to have to consummate or complete that process immediately. A lot of the people that I work with are 6, 12, 18-month projects that we work on together. Whether it's to get their credit right where it needs to be, or whether it's because of their income situation. Perhaps they are self-employed recently, or some other concern with income. But again, the point is, it's a mindset. If your mindset is, I'm going to become a homeowner, you will become a homeowner. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. When.
Now, you mentioned self-employed recently. How long would you have to be self-employed?
Typically, FHA and conventional financing requires 2 years of self-employment. So 2 years of history as either a 1099 employee or just owning your own business for 2 years. Literally, that doesn't necessarily require 2 years of tax returns, but it does require 2 years of self-employment. And I do a fair amount with self-employed borrowers, self-employed individuals. As a matter of fact, since COVID, it seems like more and more people have actually chosen to become self-employed, just because
Yeah.
of the pandemic, and the fact that it's, being self-employed gives you the ability to work out of the house. You're not beholden to go into an office where you're surrounded by a bunch of people who could be carriers of some form or fashion. And it's really interesting. But right now, I think that now there's a new form of the flu that's going around, and people are so hypersensitive to illness in general.
Yeah.
I don't really see that that this trend, the trend of self-employment, is going to stop. And because of that, again, we've adapted our programs to work with a self-employed borrower.
And Rob, I am so also excited about and love the fact that you're one of the few places that our veterans can come to. You seem to be a mastermind as it relates to veteran loans, that type of thing, and a lot of them become self-employed as well.
Yeah, I love veterans, and we actually talk about this very often, just here in the office and within the company. Any individual, whether they were deployed to Iraq or Afghanistan or Vietnam or what have you, any individual who is willing to serve in the armed forces to protect my freedoms and to protect your freedoms, in my opinion, deserves every possible courtesy we can extend to them.
Yeah.
And because of that, I just love working with veterans. I can't say enough positive things. I cannot adequately express the amount of respect that I have for a veteran. I believe veterans are entitled to everything we do for them and more. And I feel very blessed and honored, just to be a sounding board, a codicil, a facilitator of VA loans. I think that veterans deserve everything we give to them, and I do a ton with veterans. We are a veteran-centric company. Literally, we close billions of dollars in veterans loans on an annual basis. Wow. And like I said, it's a blessing. VA, because of our relationship with the Veterans Administration, the veteran has no minimum credit score. Matter of fact, I spoke to a veteran earlier this morning, and that was our whole conversation. And it was not a no; it was a win. We looked at his credit. We put everything together. The fact is, it's not about his credit score. It's about the fact that he had some late payments in the past 12 months. And so we've established an action plan to move forward to get this veteran into a home. It's going to take us probably 180 days to get there, but he will be a homeowner. And that's what people want. They want hope. Yeah. They want verification of their hard work. They want to know that home ownership is in fact something that they can achieve. And this is what I provide day in and day out. And I'm looking forward to 2023. 2022 is somewhat of a rough year for everybody in a variety of ways. But 2023 is going to be a good year. I just feel it, and it's just been a blessing. Working with you, with KGGR, everybody else that's given me an opportunity to speak to the community. I feel very fortunate.
Absolutely. And the community loves you. We still get the calls, Rob. So they definitely love you. And we love the fact that you can provide so much information. And so many of our listeners have taken advantage of your services. Now, is it safe to say that there is a loan for everybody? Because you mentioned the VA loans, FHA loans. What other kind of loans?
We have USDA loans.
Okay.
So a USDA loan is a loan that is sponsored by the United States Department of Agriculture. It is not an agricultural loan. However, it is a loan that is focused on specific areas of the marketplace, areas where the population is not dense yet, and they're trying to repopulate these areas. USDA loan is a no money down loan, but it's a very specific type of loan, meaning you have to meet very specific income and credit criteria in order to qualify for that type of loan. It's a good loan, but like I said, there's a lot of there are a lot of hoops to jump through on a USDA loan. Other loans, conventional mortgage loans, your traditional home purchase loan. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are conventional lenders. Those types of loans are literally loans that are reserved for the most part for individuals who have very strong credit and have a fair amount of money to work with. Interestingly enough, those loans are not necessarily going to carry the lowest interest rate right now. In addition to that, when you refinance your mortgage and take equity out of the house, that's always going to be a conventional loan. In the state of Texas, the only type of home equity loan we can do is actually a conventional loan. That's part of the Texas state constitution, not something that is company specific. Rather, it is state specific. Excuse me. So there's a lot of different types of loans out there. Far and above, though, FHA and VA are the most popular loans in the marketplace. Anybody who is a veteran has no reason to do anything other than use their VA benefits to purchase a home. And I might add, not every veteran has entitlement. There are veterans who either didn't serve long enough to get their entitlement, veterans that were perhaps dishonorably discharged. These people don't have the ability to use their VA benefits. They're not granted benefits for one reason or another. So in the scheme of things, the smart thing for any veteran to do before they get too deep into a transaction is to give me a call. Let's go ahead and pull their verifications, make sure that they in fact are entitled, and quite literally most veterans are. Widows of veterans have an entitlement. Widowers of veterans typically have an entitlement. Give me a call. Let's get the process started. I'm the place to begin. 972-739-2350. That's 972-739-2350. You can also find me on the internet. Just go to Lenders Texas. That is LendersTexas.com.
And the important thing is to not, we like to self-diagnose ourselves. Like when something is wrong, we like to, go ahead and decide what we think is the problem. With deciding what kinds of loans do we need, with deciding, is this something that we can do or not do? I am definitely number one at saying, oh, my credit score is not going to be good enough, or this is not going to be good enough. But what we need to do is take that chance, step out on faith, call you so that you can help us with making those decisions as far as the type of loan that we need and what direction we should be moving in. I like that your office does that.
And yeah, no, and what you said is absolutely consistent with a lot of our listeners and our viewers. Instead of saying my credit's not good enough, or perhaps my income is not strong enough, let me tell you that.
Yeah.
Let me make that statement, and together we'll find a way to become a homeowner. And I think that's just so critical to everything, and really the place to start with everything that we're talking about. The point is, there's always programs, there's always opportunities, there's always products that are available, but we have to quite literally start with the credit report, the income documentation, and just a short conversation. No cost. It's very easy. And honestly, in all fairness, I love the people I get to talk to through my relationship with KGGR. It's just a great experience.
Absolutely. And we thank you, Robin. You're so friendly and so knowledgeable. So we definitely love speaking with you. Go ahead and give us your information again so that they can give you a call. Yes, ma'am. My telephone number is 972-739-2350. That's 972-739-2350. You can also find me on the internet at Lenders Texas. That is LendersTexas.com, or find me on Facebook as the Lenders Residential Mortgage Team. Does it work the same for those who are refinancing as far as being told not yet? Yeah, it does. It does. Although oftentimes not yet carries a different meaning. Not yet could mean that there's no benefit to them.
perhaps. Not yet could mean that the credit's not where it needs to be in order to support the refinance. But again, refinancing is certainly a relative opportunity. And remember that when you are a veteran and you have a VA loan, you can refinance that loan without me looking at credit, without me pulling an appraisal, and without me worrying about your income. It's a streamline for a veteran. So to go from a VA loan to a VA loan is an absolute streamlined process. Of course, interest rates have to cooperate, and that's something that we need to be very conscious of. That's the same thing with FHA. You can streamline an FHA loan as well. No appraisal, no credit score, and no income concerns. It has to be an existing FHA loan to streamline to a new FHA loan, but I do that fairly often. So again, the benefit of the transaction is always going to be somewhat relative to what an individual is hoping to get out of that refinance. I see people refinance their mortgages because of divorce, perhaps, or perhaps because a spouse passed on, and so there's a variety of reasons. The main thing is use me as a resource. That's what I am. I am a resource. I am a mortgage resource. If you have questions, whether it has to do with ownership of a property, mom passes on and you've got to divide the property between your siblings, use me as a resource. That's the bottom line. My telephone number again is 972-739-2350. That's 972-739-2350. You can find me on the internet. Just go to Lenders Texas. That is LendersTexas.com. Find me on Facebook as the Lenders Residential Mortgage Team. And again, I just appreciate it. 2022 has been a great year together with you and KGGR.
Yeah.
I really am so thankful for the opportunity. I look forward to 2023, and we're going to see a lot of really good things happen. I'm certain of it.
Yeah, we're looking forward to 2023 with lower rates, lower everything, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And it will all happen. It's just going to be a matter of time. That's all.
Okay, just a matter of time. Well, we definitely thank you, Rob, for stopping by here. And so this is going to do it for 2022. We're excited about 2023 with new and exciting things and new and exciting conversations with you. And we want everybody to buy a house, okay? Or refinance, all right? So that's
absolutely. Now's the time.
Now is the time. We thank you so very much. One more time, go ahead and give your information in case they want to call right now.
That telephone number is 972-739-2350. That's 972-739-2350. You can find me on the internet at Lenders Texas. That is LendersTexas.com.
There you have it. Thank you, Rob Stern.
No worries, honey. Thank you very much. God bless you and have a happy new year, okay?
You too. Thank you.
Take care. Yes, ma'am. Bye-bye.